This is a H.View E3 Security camera. It's got a 3 megapixel sensor, maximum resolution 2304 by 1926 at 30 frames per second, so that's more than 1080p. It's a PoE camera, which means it's power over Ethernet, but in order to use that facility you need a switch that is capable of providing power through the Ethernet cable. If you don't have that, you can use it conventionally using a normal power supply and a normal Ethernet cable, but you need two cables instead of one. The beauty of PoE is that you only need one cable to the camera so long as you've got the correct switch. It's got colour night vision, and I'll go through that in the review. One thing I will say is that if it's pitch dark outside, this camera will not record anything on a night time. It's IP67 waterproof rated, so it's fine for outdoor use, and it also comes with a 2-year guarantee. One thing I will mention is just how small this camera is. It feels really well made, but it's very small and inobtrusive, which I think is a very good point for a security camera. The other thing is, because it doesn't have IR lights on a night time, when this camera is installed, it's far more difficult to see that you've got CCTV, because this camera doesn't have red IR LEDs. Now that could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your situation. This is how the camera is packaged. Inside the box, along with the camera, we've got a quick start guide, some web addresses in there if you have any issues with the camera, a little sticker to say that you've got CCTV, an Ethernet cable, a waterproof connector, and screws and roll plugs. Along with the roll plugs and screws, there's a little Allen key in there that allows you to change the position of the camera. I'll demonstrate that a little bit later on. So just for setting the camera up, I've mounted it on a scrap piece of wood. I've connected the Ethernet cable onto a switch which is PoE. Now obviously you can see I'm running out of spaces on there. I've had to disconnect something to do that. So now it's actually powered up via the switch. So to connect the camera to your PC, go to the H.View homepage, which is www.hviewsmart.com. Under support, select Download Center, and that will take you to this screen. We want to select Easy Client, so double click on Easy Client to download it. Clicking on that brings up this screen, and I want Windows, so if I click on there, that brings up the program. Double click on that and download it. Once it's installed, it brings up a login target, admin and the password of 12345. Then click on Add Camera, and as you can see the camera's there, so if you select that and hit Add, it brings up the camera on the right hand side there, and then just drag that across into the window, and then you can open it up on full screen. And that's installation complete. To install the app on an Android device, go into the Google Play Store, type in EZ Vision. That is the icon that you're looking for at the top. Click on that and install it. Then open up the app. Then when you want to add the device, just click on the plus sign at the top. And as you can see, it's already found the H.View cameras on my network. You need to put the password in, which is 12345, and there we go. So that's quite simple. On an Apple device, go into the App Store, search Easy Vision, so there's the icon, download it. So tap to add a new device, and as you can see, it's already found my cameras, and there we go. That's how easy it is. You can take the camera outside and install it wherever you want. And once you've mounted the camera, if you actually want to move it and change the way it's pointing, if you slacken off this grub screw with the Allen key that's provided, that actually allows you to rotate and twist the camera. In fact, you can move it in all axes by doing that. Once you've got that where you want it to be, then just tighten this grub screw back up again. As you can see, it's a very nice image that this camera produces. It's got a 95-degree field of view, which is shorter than most cameras, and that is an improvement because it removes a lot of the fisheye effect that you get on a lot of the wider angled cameras. It's got a 4mm lens, and I think the video is very good. One of the problems that I've got with Easy Client is that it records video to your hard disk drive in a .bpv format, and nothing plays that, none of the Windows software. So I'm actually using a screen recorder to show you the video rather than taking it directly off the hard drive, which to me is a bit of an issue. They should make it MP4 or .avi or something like that. There is software on the H.View website called Easy Player which will play the video, but you can't download that and send it to anybody, which I think is a bit of a problem. Because my screen recorder records in 1080p, we're not seeing in its full resolution, so we have lost a little bit of image quality in order for me to show you this video. So now I'm going to try and demonstrate colour night vision. Colour night vision actually needs ambient light in order to work. Now the clip you're looking at now is recorded from the same camera, and it's at 20 to 7 on a night time, and it got dark about 5 o'clock. Now if I went outside and looked, it's much darker than it appears on the camera, but you can actually see the shadow of the house rising up and across the left hand corner of the picture, and that is by moonlight. That is the moonlight that's causing that shadow, and it is moonlight that is allowing you to see what is going on in the garden. But I will say that at this particular time the moon was very bright. So I've just brought my video camera outside and I've put it next to the H.View camera, looking in approximately the same direction, and it's literally a minute later from when I filmed the clip that you've just looked at, and this is what the video camera is seeing compared to what the H.View camera is seeing. So after I filmed that clip on my camcorder, I came in and turned on the floodlight, and look what happens. So as you can see, that is a lovely clear image, and it's important to make sure that lighting, if it's a floodlight say that gives out a strong beam, is pointing towards what it is you want to film. I'll show you what happens if the light is behind what you're trying to film. So this clip is taken from a different direction, and you can actually hear the sound recording on this particular clip because I've got the microphone turned on the camera, and the blue sky that you can see between the trees is actually moonlight. You can see we've got a light on there in the kitchen and another light on further down, and believe you me, it's much darker outside than it looks. But what's going to happen now is I'm actually going to come around the corner and turn on the light, and you're going to be able to see what happens when the subject is lit from behind. So as you can see, they're just two 100 watt lights there. They're not floodlights. Look how bright they are. That's how this camera works. It's got really a high ISO setting. And as you can see, I'm walking towards the camera now. You could not identify me really. It would be impossible to identify me. So the subjects need to be lit from the front rather than the back. And here I actually swing the camera around and point it at the moon. And you can see just how bright it is when this thing is pointing at the moon, because believe me, the moon is not that bright when I'm looking at it. Well, that's actually moon behind a cloud. And it's bright, but it's nowhere near as bright as it looks, believe me. So the colour night vision works in normal sort of ambient lighting, and if it's in the middle of a town, I don't think you would have any issues with it at all. If you've got some form of ambient lighting, it will be absolutely fine. But if it's pitch black with no lighting at all, then you're going to need a camera with an infrared array that actually picks up infrared. Now, if you can see to the right of that picture, there's like a purple light. That is another camera, and that has got infrared on. So you can see that this camera doesn't pick up infrared. I think the best way to look at colour night vision is to say that if you can see okay when you're walking around and it's dark, as in the street lighting on and you can see fine and you can see colours, then the camera will see it as well. In fact, it will see it better than you can. So even when you think it's fairly dark, the camera will still give you a good image. The darker it gets, the more grainy the image gets, rather like a camera with an ISO setting, to the point where you can actually see an outline but you can't see what it is. But when it's at that sort of stage with the camera, it's almost pitch black where you are. If it is pitch black, then the colour night vision will not work at all. On the PC client software, if you click on the settings icon up on the right hand side there, you can go into general. There are all sorts of settings that you can change on this camera, and it's quite intuitive. But if you select manual set for the time and then sync with PC time, then it will set the time right on your camera, and it's very quick and simple. So if you have a look through the menu, there's a lot of things that you can change and alter on it, and it's very easy to use. I think it's a smashing little camera, great image quality, it's easy to use and set up. There are two things I don't like. I don't like the fact that it records video to the hard drive in .bpv format because nothing will play it, and you can't actually copy the recording and send it to anybody. The second thing is that the first camera that I got missed it up as soon as I placed it outside. Now after sending H.View an image of the camera, they replaced it immediately, and the second one is absolutely fine. So customer service I thought was really very good. If you're thinking about buying one of these cameras and you live in an area where the ambient lighting is good enough for the nighttime colour vision, I don't think you'll go wrong with it because it is a vast improvement on infrared. So I hope you found this review useful, and thank you for watching.